want to talk about how having an abundance of knowledge, or more knowledge that we need, is affecting our decision making, how it affects how we make decisions. So there was a study a few years ago. I forgot the name of the person who did it. So the study was that they wanted to understand whether more information would mean a higher accuracy, right? So what happened was that they would try to, so like they picked people who would bet on the horse races. So what happened was that they would have like different people, and then they would tell everyone that, and like they would give the horse racers, bettors, they would give like 10 pieces of information, and then 20 pieces of information, and then 40, and then 100 pieces, and then everything else. And then what they realized was that when people had less information, their bets were more accurate. They were able to make more accurate decisions and more accurate bets and predictions. And here, what we need to understand is that having more knowledge does not mean being more accurate. In fact, having more knowledge causes us to have a bias and to feel more confident and move in. And let me clarify something. Like, it doesn't mean that having more knowledge is necessarily bad, but sometimes, and most of the times, what happens is that when we have more knowledge, we feel more confident. And when we feel more confident, our bets and our risks and the type of bets that we make and the type of prediction we make are bigger and are bolder. And when that happens, we're not willing to change because we think we're right. And we make bigger and bolder bets, causing us to lose a lot of money. And when we have less knowledge per se, people are more open-minded and they're able to change and adapt when they have little or no information, when they make predictions. And this is something that I've experienced in a way that, let's say that I'm going to trade stock, and sometimes I like to swing trade. Like most of the time, I like to invest in stocks for the long term and like holding and stuff. But sometimes, once in a while, I like to, like maybe once a week or twice a week, I like to trade in stocks. So like buy today and sell next week or something. And what happens is that my risk-reward ratio and my risk strategy is way more important than how much I know about the company, or than my ability to predict stuff. Because honestly, humans suck at predicting things. And I'm not smart. And even if I was smart, it doesn't mean anything. So what I do is that I have a strategy, and I have a risk-reward strategy. When meaning that, like, we have a lot of information. However, I have strategies such as the 1% strategy to do not lose more than 1% of my portfolio when I'm trading in stock. So per trade, I could not allow myself to lose 1% of my portfolio. And that allows me to not make crazy bets and have stop losses and have everything right. So I'm not trying to do some crazy bets in my prediction, and like I'm not relying on my ability to predict, but rather on my ability to control the situation in case something does not happen. But in the bottom line is that when we're making predictions, do not rely on how much information you have. Rather, be humble, be ready to adapt, and be ready to be open-minded so you can change and adapt your risk-reward strategy and adapt when you're making decisions. And always being humble to realize that you were wrong, and then when you were wrong, change so you can be right the next time. Thank you.